Hi everybody, in the next video I want to talk about locking, and specifically locking in the context of applications that were migrated from Pervasive to SQL. So let's go ahead and add a new item, just a business process. We'll call it demo locking problem. And this business process will just iterate all the orders. So say models, orders equals new from orders. Now let's activate locking for it. So we say allow row locking equals true, and let's also say that the row locking is on row loading, which means whenever I enter a row, I immediately want to lock it. Great, so we've created this small example. Let's go ahead and call it when the application starts by calling it in the onStart method of the application. And let's see what we get. Okay, we can see here that it was called once, and we can see here that there was from all rows, and then we can see the lock and unlock. Okay, and pretty much for every row that existed in the data view, in our case there were 830 rows, we get a lock row and an unlock row. Okay, now in other applications that are being migrated, or applications that have transactions in them, the locking lives until transaction ends. Let's go and write it down so it will be even clearer. Okay, locking and transaction. In applications that leverage transactions, the lock lives until the transaction is closed. And that's the whole lifespan. It makes sense to do it, more or less. But that's pretty much the fact. But applications that were using Btrieve Pervasive do not use transactions. And as such, the row that is locked is immediately unlocked when you leave the row. This is why in our case, for every row, we got a lock row command and an unlock command. Now, this was pretty much meaningless when we were using Pervasive or Btrieve, because locking and unlocking, even though it was a command that was sent to the database, wasn't a separate command. You would pretty much lock on select in Btrieve in that case. But in our case, when you fetch the row, you actually generate another SQL statement to lock the row. And you can see here all the SQL statements to lock the rows over here. And we can see the actual SQL statement, get app lock for the orders table, with primary key 3590, etc. And another command when the row is being left with unlock. Now, that's said and done on applications that were migrated from Pervasive to SQL that maintain the same transaction behaviors that you had in Pervasive, which pretty much means no transaction. When you have a batch task, it will lock and unlock rows for no reason. Those rows will be locked for less than a millisecond, but you will waste their turnaround connections to the database to do that. Okay? So we can see here that we've made so many calls, 830 lock calls, 830 unlock calls, and those result in performance cost. So it is strongly recommended in applications that were migrated from Btrieve to SQL, where you see batch tests that run over a lot of rows, and you can see that the lock row is costing you a lot, remove it. Okay? So to remove that, you very simply say, or something even at the level of the controller, as far as I'm concerned, no row locking. You do not need row locking in batch tasks in applications migrated from Btrieve to SQL in most cases. Okay, specifically for ones that iterate rows very, very fast. So by removing that, we can see that the entire time of the process went dramatically down, and a lot less queries are being sent to the database. Thanks for that. Hope this was interesting. And in the next video, we are going to discuss caching for the from, or the main table of the controller. Thank you so much.